Mm-hmm. Whoa, man.
Hey, buddy.
It's time. It's 7 o'clock. Taco Tuesday. Here we are. We're live.
Right on.
Ready? Are we ready?
Are we ready?
Ready.
I'm kind of
Let's do it.
dragging. I'm
Let's do
kind of
this.
dragging. Well, I may be dragging, but we're going to do it. You're live on Professor Bass and Friends. Here we go. Hmm. Here we go. How is
Yep.
everyone today?
I'm good, man.
Doing great.
Good. Good. Tony, how's things up in Northwest Arkansas?
Good, man. I'm getting excited for this weekend. I'm ready to get things packed up, ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Packed up. Seems like we're doing that often here lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been several weekends in a row now.
It seems like we have a it's like a vicious cycle where we pack things up, we go camping, and on Monday we pick ticks off of us.
Yeah.
It's, it's kind of a
Yeah,
vicious
buddy.
cycle in Arkansas.
I've got 11 bites. I'm a
Woo!
little
11.
nervous about 11 bites from this last
Goodness.
weekend.
Oh my goodness! You need to get some Picaridin or whatever, Picaridin or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Spray
Might have to
yourself.
do the Feral Joe and do some whatever that is. He uses some.
Well, he just stinks so bad. He just makes ticks leave the premises. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Well, I don't know
Benji.
about that.
Benji Ward in the house.
Yeah, yeah. We got a few people coming on. Oh man. Well, I got one tick off me. It wasn't stuck. It was crawling, and I got one off my dog, and it was stuck. And then I got another one that was crawling. So y'all had them all wherever y'all were. Y'all were over
Well,
in a
I
good
think as
place.
my dogs brought them to me, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I just hope you don't get to that place where you can't eat red meat because that would suck.
I think that would be miserable.
It would.
Absolutely miserable to be allergic to red meat because of a tick bite.
I mean, I wouldn't mind eating seafood every meal, but still, I mean, there's that you want a steak every now and then. Ah, dang. Woo! Dakota, how are you, bro, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Doing just fine. We are doing just fine. We're glad to have you on here. We got to link up with you a little bit at More Expo.
Yep.
Y'all were out in the weather, in the
Yeah.
windage.
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
would again have been a good place to have had some wind turbines to generate some electricity out there,
No
because
kidding.
it seems like every year when More Expo happens, we either have some kind of a rain. How did the rain affect y'all on that Thursday or Friday? I mean, it
Oh,
came down there for a little bit.
so we moved into our booth at 11 a.m. on Thursday.
Oh,
Got
perfect
set
time,
up.
right before the rain hit. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, we got set up, put the awning up, got the table set up, got everything ready. Went inside to go chat with some other vendors that were showing up. Came back outside. We're out there in our booth maybe 2 minutes, and it's just torrential downpour.
I
I mean,
mean,
just out of
it
nowhere.
came down. It
It
Yeah.
was
came down.
blowing my awning. The poles coming out. I mean, shit's flying everywhere. It was. So I was like, thank God we came out when we did to hold this awning down. So there was three of us, me, AJ, and James. Were all standing in the booth, like under the awning. We have a 270 that was hooked up to the trailer where our booth was, and we were all three grabbing onto the awning post, just holding it down. And we were dry from about waist up, but the way the wind was coming,
Yeah.
we were literally soaked from the pant line all the way down to our boots. We all had to change shoes. It was crazy, but it was a good thing we came outside when we did, because it probably
Yeah.
would have messed up that awning pretty bad had we not been sitting there holding it.
Man. Well, We had went to eat. We were in the Rhino Rack booth, and we went to grab some lunch, and we were sitting in there. And right when we came out, it started to rain. And when it decided to rain, it rained.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Buckets.
like pouring it out of a 5-gallon bucket rain.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was coming down. And when we turned into the parking lot, we were in that lower section. There was a waterfall coming off that parking lot like
Yep.
I have never seen before.
Yep.
And the guys from Okie Overland told us they had 3 inches of water in their booth and was soaking everything.
Yeah, there was a river like in
Oh,
between
it was a
our booth
river.
and the booth across from it. It was probably 4 or 5 inches deep.
My goodness,
Hey, Chris.
that's crazy. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad that there was a time you could play Will It Float, and as Shane would say, you got moistened upon.
Yeah.
He
Got
said he
got
got
moisted on. Yeah.
moisted on. Yeah, he got
Yeah.
moisted on this weekend. So Friday night we got a little bit of rain where we were camped, and apparently he slept right underneath the seam, and it dripped on his head the whole night. So it's funny when you can sleep through it and you wake up and you're wet, and so that's
Yep.
a pretty good sleep right there. But anyway, glad to have you on, Dakota. We really, really, really support your what you got going on, and really want to get the word out about what you guys do, and see if we can't create a little more um, just awareness about what y'all do. So, you are with a group called Oscar Mike Overland, and for everybody who doesn't know, Oscar Mike is a military term that means on the move. And so, tell us how you came up with that name and how Oscar Mike started.
So, I think really it's just our main goal of our mission and what we do with the nonprofit is we want to get veterans and first responders on the move. So we want to get them outdoors, camping, off-roading. And so it really was just kind of like we were just sitting there pondering names, and then it just kind of hit us, and we were like, okay, yep, that's it. We didn't even go through any other names. We just was like, yep, Oscar Mike, that's it, because that's our mission, that's our goal, to get veterans and first responders on the move. So it was really just kind of a one-off kind of deal. We were all in agreement, and that's what we came up with.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. I was getting ready for more expo, and I saw all y'all roll in at the same time, and all of you had the big vinyl on your vehicles and stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought, gosh, all those guys have the same name. That's just really odd. But and then I figured out who you were and what
Right.
you did, and I thought, man, that's cool because I'm a first responder, but that's one thing that we hear all the time, when we deal with organizations like We Are the 22 and
Yep.
organizations like that really help veteran suicide and things like that, because guys go off, they get deployed, they come back, and they just really don't know what to do with their life. And they need somebody to point them in the direction, to get them off the couch, to give them
Right.
something to do. And I think that's a huge part of what you do.
Yep. Well, I greatly appreciate it. Really quick, I would just like to make an announcement that if you're going to go to our website, it's www.oscarmikeoverland.org. On the Scantron, it's
Stand
.com.
by.
So make sure we use .org if you guys are going to check out our website. I just want to make sure so nobody goes to .com and can't find us.
Yeah.
Awesome. I would have been guilty of that.
Yeah, I would have been guilty of
Just
that.
out of habit.
I changed it. It's all good.
Yep.
My mistake. My mistake.
We're good. No, we're good.
So, is Oscar Mike so how would you describe your group? Is it a group? Is it a club? Is it something that you join? Do you have chapters? How does it work?
Really, it started just as a group of friends, honestly. We were just wanting to do something bigger than ourselves. Obviously, we have a passion and a drive to go off-roading, go camping, overlanding. And so, we would link up every few weeks and all go hang out, hit the trails, go camping. And so we just kind of wanted to create an organization that did something for other people. And so we chose veterans initially, and just this year, beginning of this year, we expanded into first responders. But it really just started as a group of friends. We don't have any additional chapters outside of the Kansas City area. We are based just south of Kansas City. We're all within the metro area. We are actually looking into expanding and doing some chapters essentially in other locations. It's still in the works. We're still talking about that. We're still trying to get all the stuff figured out for that. That might be something that we get ironed out this year and kind of roll out next year. So not currently doing any chapters. We have talked to a couple people that have expressed an interest in volunteering and helping out. So we're going to try to capitalize on that and see what we can come up with for next year.
Now you are 100% volunteer, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
We currently have 8 guys on the team. Everyone's kind of got their own duties and their own job, whether it's running the Instagram or helping out with this or doing the navigating and the planning and the event directing, all that sort of stuff. But yes, we are 100%, myself included, the vice president including Jordan Bardwell. We are 100% volunteer.
Nice.
That's cool.
Scott.
Scott, yeah, Scott is on the show.
What?
Scott
Anyway,
is one of my dearest friends. He's going to be the best man at my wedding, and he is retired county sheriff, SWAT team, SWAT medic, you name it. He's done it all. Super guy, and this is the first time he's ever been on here, and I'm shocked that he's on here. That's super cool. Farrell Joe's on here, who is retired from
Coast Guard.
Coast Guard, yes.
Yep.
He's sitting there for the hospitality at Moore. Me and Misty always enjoyed hanging out with you. As always, let us know if we can ever help out with anything. They are super cool.
Yeah.
In fact, we camped with them this past weekend. We talked about Oscar Mike a little bit.
Cool.
But okay, so what your organization does as an organization, you have volunteered your time to help those who really need to get out, really need to get off the couch, sit around, get depressed. It's a really therapy is really what you're offering. Now, if somebody if I know somebody, or I feel like I really need this, that this is something in my life that I could really use, that I think that I would be beneficial to me or to a friend, how can I get them involved and get them set up on going out on a trip with you guys?
So we've created a document. It's basically just a Google Doc form that people can fill out on our website. And it basically we gather a little bit of information about the individual who would be interested in coming on a trip with us. And we just kind of get an idea of what branch they were in, or what service, if they were a first responder or something. And then we kind of gather some information about their experience, off-roading, camping, and all that stuff, and what they have and what they might not have. So we take guys out that have fully built rigs. They camp all the time, good to go. But as Misty is saying here, last year we did an all-women's veteran trip, and one of the ladies showed up in, I think it was a minivan, and we brought some gear, and she actually had some camping gear, but we can also supply tents, rooftop tents, and all that kind of stuff to the person that is coming on the trip, just depending on what they have or what they don't have. Like some guys, they might have, let's say a Jeep, and they have a roof rack, but they don't have a rooftop tent. Well, we have a couple rooftop tents that we can loan out to them for the trip and help install if everything works out right. You know what I mean? And so really we take people from all different directions and all different levels of experience. So we try to outfit the guys with and gals with whatever they might need.
Okay.
Nice.
Now I know that you are you a registered nonprofit? Not for profit?
Yes. So
Okay,
we are
so you're
registered in the state of Missouri
okay.
as a nonprofit, and we are also registered federally with the IRS as a 501c3.
Awesome. So people can send you tax-free donations, and anything like that, or set up to give you donations. And I know you said that y'all actually got some pretty good donations, so that's cool. So you got swag you can sell. I know you go
Yep.
through Shop Overland Apparel. You've got the hats, the patches, and different
Yep.
things like that you can buy to help support you. How else can somebody who wants to support you do that? And when they do, what does that money go for?
So if somebody wants to offer support in the sense of money, as in just a cash, you know, donation, they can do it on our website directly. There is options on Facebook. You guys can donate through Facebook. We occasionally set up stories on our Instagram that have a donate button, which is, I think, what you guys did today when
Did
you
it
guys
today?
announced. There's all sorts of ways. So any of those ways work. We had a couple people come by the booth at More Expo, and after talking to us, they just handed us some money. So it's pretty open. Website, Facebook, Instagram. If you guys see us at an expo, and then of course, like you said, we also sell some swag, some shirts, hats, patches, all sorts of stuff, stickers, and 100% of the proceeds from everything that we sell goes directly to our mission. So what we use some of the funding for. So usually how a trip goes, we're usually taking a 1 to 3 day trip, and we usually cook one group meal for everybody, and usually people bring some of their family members. We try to be all inclusive and include everyone's family. That way, it's more of a homey feel for the people that come on the trips. So some of the money goes towards the meals that we cook. It also helps us buy other gear that we can then give out to veterans. So we just did a trip a couple months ago, and we actually set up a giveaway for a Centauri rooftop tent. So the tent was donated by Centauri, and then right before we started, so we met down there on a Friday, woke up Saturday morning to go hit the trails. Saturday morning, right before we started, we were like, okay, is everyone on comms, channel 22? And Wally was like, I have a CB radio. And I was like, well, that's not going to work. I'm not 50 something years old.
Yeah.
So I got in the back of my truck, and we got one of the Midland, I think it was MXT 115, and just gave it to him. So that way he could have comms for the whole trip with us. And so it's a 5-minute install, just kind of a plug and play deal. Ran his antenna out to the hood, and he was good to go for the whole weekend. So we also get gear that we donate to veterans and first responders that are relevant to camping and off-roading and all that good stuff.
Okay. Now, this is just an off-the-wall question that just came to mind. You said that you have gear that other people can use.
Right.
Now, there are a lot of us out there who have gear that we don't use anymore. Would you take gear donations if
Yes. So
we wanted to donate gear to you?
Yes. So we actually have quite a few things from people who were like, hey, I upgraded my tent, or I upgraded my, cookware or whatever. Do you guys need this? And absolutely. Of course, we don't just want to have tubs and tubs of stuff in my basement, full of stuff that's never going to get used. But if it's something that we're going to commonly use, or even stuff that we can give out to a veteran. So like we carry some extra things like the radios and such, to where if we do get into the situation like we did with Wally, where he didn't have a GMRS radio, we can just give it to him. So if we get into a situation where we get a torrential downpour and it ruins somebody's tent because there's a windstorm, we like to have stuff on hand that we can give out to people if they need it, or if we run into a situation on the trail or while camping to where they could utilize it for the long term and not just the trip. So we just give them stuff. So yes, we 100% will take any item donations that you guys might have that are relevant to camping and off-roading and overlanding. If you guys have anything you guys are thinking about getting rid of, or it's been sitting in a tub for a while in the basement, you can shoot me an email. It's dakota@oscarmikeoverland.org. You can also find that information on the website if you guys forget the email. Just head over there and send me some of the things that you have that you might not need, and we can work something out. So last year at Moore, I had I'm blanking on his name right now, but he brought me like 2 tubs of extra sleeping bags and cooking stuff, like cast iron, just stuff that he has just phased out of his, regular gear that he takes out when he goes camping. So if you guys have anything, I'd be happy to talk about it with you. We can figure something out.
That's awesome. That's good because, the explosion of overlanding about 6 or 7 years ago happened, and a lot of people tried it and realized that, they try one thing, then they don't like it, and then they decide to go a different route, and it's still good.
Right.
Most of it's still new, and we're just looking for a place for it to go. So that's good. So send Dakota an email, dakota@oscarmikeoverland.org, and you can talk about making a donation to help some of these guys out who don't have anything. That'd be pretty cool.
Yep.
Now, if there are some businesses out there who might want to sponsor somebody going, is that something that you also do?
We don't have any necessarily like specific trip sponsors from businesses, and we don't formulate a lot of our sponsorships and partnerships in that fashion where they're like specifically sponsoring a trip. Generally, kind of what's been kind of how it's played out in the past is they'll either donate gear or write a check to us so we can use it, throughout the whole year for, just like a general use kind of donation.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Do you have trips coming up? Do you have a calendar that you could share with us about what you got coming up? And
yes.
Let us know if you've got any openings in those for anybody who wants to come.
Yeah, so we dropped our calendar back in March for our 2023 events for this year, and our next trip is, May 19th to 21st. That weekend we're going to be going to Ozark National Forest, doing a trip out there, and I haven't checked the recent update of the forms that have been filled out on our website for the attendance portion of that. But I'm sure we will have some openings. This year's been kind of slow with people getting out, I guess. But yeah, if you guys know somebody, if anyone listening knows somebody or wants to go personally, just head over to our website. When you go to fill out that form, I believe it pops up a picture that has all of our events on it. And you can scroll through and pick, okay, I'm available for this one, this one, this one. It's like a multiple choice, and then we will contact you and see if we can make something happen.
Okay. Now, are there any requirements for people that would want to go, just to give everybody a heads up? Now, this is something that I'm considering. What do I need before I put this application in, or is there any requirements at all?
Really, there's no requirements other than being either a veteran or a first responder.
Okay.
And we've kind of grouped the term first responder to mean like police officers, corrections, firefighters, stuff like that. You don't have to just be a police officer or a firefighter. I think those are two of the most, commonly known first responders. We want to be pretty inclusive. So we want to help out the dispatchers and like the nurses and the people that are in corrections. That's actually my background. Where I came from was public safety and corrections. And so that's kind of why we wanted to expand into this demographic this year. We were really successful our first couple of years doing just veterans, and it was on the list to get added with the expansion, and we were happy to roll that out this year. But no specific requirements other than being a veteran or first responder and having availability for the dates of that trip. Yeah.
Okay. What about do I have to have a 4x4 rig to go?
No. Like I said last year for the Lady Overland radio trip that we did with the female only veterans trip, we had some people show up in fully built Tacomas, bed racks, rooftop tent, the whole kit caboodle, and we had some people show up in, I think I said minivan earlier, but now that I think about it, I think it was a Ford Expedition, and she just set up a ground tent and went from there. So no specific requirements in regards to having a vehicle or really even gear. If you guys are needing something, or if there's something keeping you from going on a trip, or something you think is keeping you from going on a trip, like not having a tent or not having a camping chair or something, let us know, and we will try to do our best to get something worked out for you and get something for you to either use or keep. It just kind of depends on what we've got.
Tim's got, I don't know if you put it up there, Joey, but Tim says he's got a couple of new, never used air mattresses that he can send.
Yeah. Cool.
And
That's awesome.
yeah, I think Joe makes a real good point here. Obviously what Oscar Mike's doing is a great deal. And, it seems like there's a lot going on medically for the veterans, but out in the communities is where we really, really need their support. So
Right.
Post service is it's a good deal. Great thing.
Do you have any follow up after the trip is over? Do you keep in touch? And a lot of times when we go out and meet new people, we pretty much make friends forever with those people. And is this something that you're seeing too? Something that it was like a continual friendship that you can help these people not just on this one trip, but actually for a while?
Yeah, I would definitely say that there is. I mean, I don't talk to these people every day, but if I see them, we always act like, we've just been best friends. I had people come up to me from past trips, even at More Expo. Gloria Balboa, she lives in North Dakota, I believe.
Yeah.
We took her on the female veterans trip last year with Lady Overland Radio, and she drove all the way from North Dakota to More Expo, and she hung out at our booth, and we hung out till midnight, just hanging around a campfire and just chilling and eating, and we all just kind of hung out with people.
That's cool.
So yeah, there's definitely a long-term friendship built between everybody, and I think that kind of just goes hand in hand with off-roading, camping, and overlanding. I mean, I'm somehow friends with the likes of you two. So
yeah.
So I think that's what's beautiful about this community is we somehow, like, I don't even know how I met Tony, to be honest. I don't know if we were on a trip or at an expo.
It was Big Iron.
Was it Big Iron?
It was Big Iron, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I pulled in.
Jared
we ended up
introduced us.
camping right next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it just always ends up that way. I feel like within the Overland community, like we always end up being friends and end up going on another trip, down the road, or hanging out or doing podcasts,
Yeah, I got to meet Gloria last year, and I turned around at Moore and I was like, holy cow, you're back from North Dakota again. It's like, I couldn't believe it. It's just it's awesome.
That's cool. Well, we're getting a whole bunch of comments from the ladies trip. So y'all really made an impact on the ladies when y'all did that. So that's
and Amanda,
cool,
she was on the trip as well.
And
she came over. She lives down in Arkansas, and she came all the way up, and she also hung out with us in our booth. And just chilled. And that's kind of all that we're about. I think James, who is our veterans liaison, he says it best, sitting in a feeling circle in a cold chair in a gymnasium or a little office or something. That's not what most of these guys are looking for. So we try to provide a neutral environment for these guys to just let things, transpire as they normally would, all organic, if you will. And so we just want to get around a campfire and bullshit and hang out and drink some beer, smoke some cigars, and eat some good food, and just really just hang out. Like, we're not there to give anybody therapy or talk about feelings or anything like that. We're just strictly out there for the camaraderie, hanging out, having a good time, and just let the conversation over the campfire just lead it to wherever it leads us. And a lot of times it has led us to long-term friendships and partnerships, and maybe there's some whiskey involved and long-term jokes with people. Some of the people listening in will understand where I'm going with that.
Yeah, I do.
But I mean, that's just kind of what we're about. I mean, we're not forcing anybody to talk about things. We're not trying to be shrinks and figure out all these guys' and gals' problems. We literally are just giving that opportunity for friendship and hanging out with people and we just really want to have a good time.
Yeah. Well, any of us that
smash burgers.
Any of us that actually do go out and camp or whatever, we understand that, just for the normal everyday person, just getting out in the woods is therapy. Just getting out there, being out there where it's quiet, where it's peaceful. You get away from everyday life. You get away from cell service. You get away from TV. It's therapy in itself. And you don't need somebody to sit there and say, okay, so tell me what you're feeling right now. Right. You don't need that. You don't need that. Right. Here, get on my couch and tell me all, everything.
Right. How does that make you feel?
How does that make you feel? I can tell you how it makes me feel. It makes me want to hurt you. And so I just want to get away from you, and I want to get out in the woods and be out there. And so it's automatic therapy, really, for people that, I see so many, and I have so many friends, especially as a police officer. We have a lot of military guys who are police officers now, and you can see a lot of times when things happen, they really need to get away, and certain things affect them different ways. And so this you're offering is pretty much therapy without therapy. I mean, you're just offering them an avenue whereby they can experience something that will help without having to go to the normal that people send them to. And just getting them out there is the biggest part of it. And if you know somebody that fits the description, if you know somebody that fits the bill, this is something that you can get them to get them out there, get them on the website, go to their house, sit down, put them on the website, have them fill out an application and say, you could benefit from this.
Yep.
Because that might be what it takes to get that person some help, to get them, from, and I hate to say this, but get them from thinking about ending their life, because a lot of them think that, and so this is something that we as, Tony and I support in a huge way, because we know that it helps, because we see the therapy that it gives to us. And I can't imagine, those that you're taking out, how huge of an impact you're making on them.
Yep, for sure.
Well, that's cool. Let me ask you this. So you've been doing, how long have y'all been doing this? When did it start?
I think it was the end of 2020. Gosh, I don't even remember now.
Well, you can always figure it out whether it was the COVID year or before COVID year. I'm pretty sure it was before COVID year. So that makes 2019.
Yes, I believe it was end of 2019 is when we were finally formed and established our nonprofit status.
Okay, so 3.5 years. You've been doing this 3.5 years. How many trips have you led, you think?
Oh, we average, I think, like 6 to 8 a year. So we're talking 15 to, I'm just going to say 20-ish is probably 15
Okay.
to 20, 23, somewhere in there.
How many people do you think you've reached in that time? Just give me an estimate.
Um, let's just say 60.
Okay. So 60 people that you have made a huge impact on, that you've potentially had some life changing, uh, interaction with. Where do you see this in the next 5 years? Where do you want to see Oscar Mike in the next 5 years, and how many people do you want to reach? Do you have a goal?
Oh man. Hmm. I mean, I think honestly, the goal would be just to get as many people as we can. And I know that sounds so cliche, but the
Yeah.
more people that we can connect with and contact with, I mean, because here's the deal: everybody knows somebody that falls within the people that we are targeting. First responders and veterans. Literally everybody knows somebody or has
Yeah.
a friend or a family member. I mean, I feel like you can't not know somebody who isn't a first responder or a veteran.
Yeah.
So just spreading the word, and we really just we don't see an end to this, as far as us stopping. Like, we're going to keep doing this because it's always going to be needed. We're
Mhm.
always going to have first responders, and we're always going to have the military. I mean, it's something that's never going to go away. And
Mm.
so really, I mean, we just want to help as many people as we can. I wouldn't say that there's a goal, because I don't want to limit ourselves in a sense to, oh, we're going to do 100 people next year, because we might be able to affect 200 people. Uh,
Mhm.
but I would say in 5 years, I would definitely like to expand the Oscar Mike volunteer team, maybe even double it from 8 to 16, um, and just have different chapters in different states. People in Arkansas who lead trips down in Arkansas, people in Texas maybe, or Oklahoma or Kansas. I would say the expansion of the organization as a whole, just to again connect with more people and see more people. I mean, it's really limitless, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I just we want to help as many people as we possibly can, and I know that we will never help everybody. We're not going to be able to touch everyone's lives and take everybody on a trip, but if we take you on a trip and you tell your friend who might be struggling, and then we take them on a trip and then they tell somebody else, like, it's just kind of that never ending cycle of always trying to help somebody. Really,
Mm.
that's all that we can ask for.
Well, there's a lot of things in this life that snowballs. And there's a lot of things that, start at the top of the hill, and we know what we say rolls downhill.
Right.
But there's a lot of good things that roll downhill too.
Yeah.
And I think the best way for people to get the word out there is to spread the word,
Yep.
and put this on their Facebook, put this on their Instagram, share, buy some swag. If I'm wearing an Oscar Mike and OMO shirt, people are going to say, what does that mean? And what
Right.
gives you an opportunity to tell people what it means and what it does.
Yeah.
It just gets the word out.
Yep.
And so if you have the swag, if you have anything, uh, put it on your social media and get the word out. I
That's
think
one
it would
thing.
be cool,
Yeah.
personally, if you are able to branch out and get people that you trust in different areas of the country to start leading these trips. And I mean, if you have another chapter in Arkansas or in Oklahoma, you could double the amount of people you can reach,
Yeah.
or triple or
Yep.
quadruple. I mean, you could reach 400, 500 people a year. I mean, this thing could get to where you're really making such a huge impact. And it's like you said, it's always going to be needed.
Yep.
And so you're always going to do it because it's always going to be needed. And if you
Mhm.
care, like I know that you do, I know you have a heart for this. It's amazing to me guys like you who actually give over their time, take vacation time, pay money out of their pockets because they care,
Right.
because you've been there. You know these people need help. You know
Right.
these people need help, and if you know it and you feel it, that makes a complete difference. And we all, like you said, we all know somebody who's a veteran or first responder who could benefit from this, because just the everyday job. When you come home and don't want to talk about what you've seen or what you've had to deal with, and people, it's not one of those things where you come home and your wife says, "Hey, tell me about your day," and you're like, "No,
Right.
you don't want to know."
Yeah.
So you get that, you just build it up and you build it up. And if you don't have a way to exhale and get it all out and just breathe, then it's going to be overwhelming, and it's going to be too much. And
Mm-hmm.
things like this are what truly help somebody
Yep.
uh, from
Yeah.
going over the edge. And so, love what you do. Huge supporter of this. Can't say it enough. I love your freaking patch wall behind you. That is
Thank you.
freaking cool. How long
Thank
you been working on that? That looks like the ceiling in my FJ. I love it.
Man, I've been working on. You guys want to see a little more of it? I have
Yeah.
been working on this for I don't
Wow.
even know, probably 4 years. I would say it was ever since I got my Forerunner. So I had collected a couple patches before I bought my Forerunner, which was probably 5 or 6 years ago. Wow. Okay, so maybe like 6 years. And it's got some of my old corrections and public safety patches on there,
Mm,
that I even kind of started with. And I think that was kind of what got me into patch collecting. I've always just kind of, I don't know. I'm a collector of weird things, and patches and stickers happen to be one of them. Hats, koozies. I don't know why, but I have a lot.
yeah.
I have books that I'm looking at that I've just collected over the years.
I love
Memory.
hats, and I can't. I've got so many hats that I can't wear because they don't
Yeah.
fit. But
Yeah.
I don't want to get rid of them.
Because your head is giant. You have
Yeah.
the biggest head.
Yeah.
What do you have? Like a 9.5?
Oh my
Is it like a nine
goodness.
and a half inch head? It's humongous.
Yeah. I've got mine.
Yeah,
I
I'm the
can. I
same. I
have a
got
hard time.
two spots open. Two spots open on all my hats. Tony has to get the extra large hats and then extensions.
Yeah.
Joey and I could probably fit in your hat.
It
You
is
know,
what it is.
last year, what blew me away, and this is totally off topic, but this is so freaking funny. Last year, it was like right at a year ago when the doctor told me I was about to have a stroke and I lost all my weight. I actually lost, I went down a hat size. I lost so much weight that my head shrunk. And so I thought, I didn't know that was possible. But anyway, that's so freaking
Yeah.
funny. Oh,
So
man.
speaking of these patches, so last year at Moore, we brought a couple of the patch walls. These just come off the wall to Moore Expo, and with having a booth outside this year, not knowing the weather conditions, and not having a good place to hang it, because last year we had the backdrop, so we could just hang it, on the back of the booth and not have to worry about rain and stuff. So we kind of got like a little mini program where we will swap patches with people. Like if they bring, we have some military patches on there, like Escambia County, Florida road prison. Don't know how we got that, but we got that from somebody. And basically we're just kind of building a collection. And so the goal is one day, if we ever have like a Oscar Mike facility or a garage or something, to have all these displayed, in our place. So if you guys have some patches from your military service or police service or what have you, send them to us and we will get you an Oscar Mike patch. We do a
I got
pat swap.
stack of them.
I like that big one in the middle that looks like a puzzle piece.
Oh, the Blue Line Overland autism patch.
I got another one of them too right here. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I told Mason that could be the centerpiece for a motorcycle club. It's so big.
Yeah.
We got all sorts of people and companies on here. I don't even know how I got these, but I got some. I think that's Italian.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've got all sorts of fun stuff on there.
I love it. I love it. Well, Dakota, man, I can't say enough good things. There's not a lot of organizations out there that have 100% approval rating, but I've never heard anybody say anything bad about you guys or any event that you put on or any trip that you led. And so, highly recommended. We would really encourage you to just think in the next few days, just think of that person. Just think of that person that might need this. They don't have to have any equipment. They don't have to have a four-wheel drive. They don't have to have anything. They just have a way to get there, and they'll provide them everything. And I know I've got some stuff laying around, some radios and stuff that I want to send to you.
Awesome.
Because I want to help you out, and I really believe in what you're doing. And I think it's good. I think you got a great future ahead because you got some great leadership, for sure. And I want to say hi to Andrea Amos, who's chilling in Costa Rica in a brewery watching this podcast. How freaking cool!
Hell yeah! Heck yeah!
We have had people come on here that's in different countries, but I can say right now I'm freaking jealous of that. I'd love to be right there, right beside her. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I can't tell you enough how awesome this was to have this talk. I love having you on. I think this is the second or third time we've had you guys on, and getting the word out about what you do and how you do it is super important to us, to Tony and I, because we really support what you're doing. And because I personally know that if I didn't do it myself, I'd need somebody to take me. Because it's like I said, it is true, honest to God therapy.
Yeah, for sure.
Without having to talk to a shrink or anything like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember my first time going. I just bought my 4Runner, and I was working in the corrections at the time for the U.S. Marshals in Leavenworth, and we were so short-staffed. We were working 16-hour days. I was on like 12 days straight, 2 days off kind of deal. Like, it was miserable. And I built up some paid vacation and took my lightly built 4Runner. I think I had like 32-inch all-terrains, just a cheap Smitty built rooftop tent. Like, wasn't even built yet. No bumpers, no nothing, right? Homemade drawer system. Like, I didn't really have anything. And went out there and took a 2-week solo trip out to Arkansas. The Ozark National Forest, went down to the Ouachitas, and it literally changed my life. Like, it's what got me into how deeply invested I am in it now. Like, that trip, taking those 2 weeks off from work and just being, just stressed out beyond all belief. It was literally life changing, and that's why I'm so heavily invested in it, and that's why this is why this means so much to me and all the guys on here.
That's awesome.
Got Eli on here volunteering his rig if you need a spot for somebody to ride.
Yep. Cool. That's one of the ways that we get the people on the move that don't have an off-road capable vehicle. They either fill in a seat in one of our vehicles, or if there's somebody else on the trip that's going that has an open seat, we kind of work with that person to get them to ride with them. So that's awesome. Cool. I appreciate it, Eli.
I love it. Well, I want to highly encourage everybody to go to the website, see how you can donate, see, contact Dakota at his email, dakota@oscarmikeoverland.org. See how you can help them. Go to Shop Overland Apparel, get some swag, get the word out, put it on your social media, whatever you need to do, because this is truly something that is giving back to those who have given their lives to the service of our country, and it's heavily needed. So do what you can, do your part. They're doing their part, and we're trying to do our part by getting the word out. So I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Dakota, thank you for being on here with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
You betcha, man.
Thanks for watching.
Tony and myself, hope you have a wonderful week. We will be back next week. Who knows what and what knows where, but we'll be here. Here we go. Join us next week.
Same bad time, same bad channel. Boom.